With only 5 hours in London, how much could I see of this historic city? I arrived in London late on Saturday evening. I hit the sack and got up the next morning to see what I could take in the 5 hours I had before my plane took off back to the States. Now, make sure to watch to the end because there's a very special cameo appearance you won't want to miss. Hi, I'm Mark. Welcome to the channel. If you're a returning viewer, we're glad to have you back. If you're a new viewer, we hope you enjoy yourself. Okay, I hit the ground running, and the first sight I was able to take in was the famous Piccadilly Circus.
Now, Brits call the Piccadilly Circus the Times Square of New York because of the sign up there. But you know what? I'm not quite sure it's on the same level as Times Square.
Piccadilly Circus was built in 1819 in the shape of a circle to connect various streets, but now it's famous for its bright neon signs, shopping, and historic buildings. It's also right next to the West End, or London's theater district. It's a big night spot. The West End is often compared to New York's Broadway, with theaters like the Royal Opera House, Lyceum Theater, and Prince Edward Theater. Plays like Les Miserables, The Phantom of the Opera, and Lion King run here for years.
Just down from Piccadilly Circus is the National Gallery. It's the art gallery for Great Britain. I'd encourage you to go in and take a look.
The National Gallery is located in Trafalgar Square. The origins of the National Gallery date back to 1824 when the government purchased a collection of paintings from a private collector. In 1832, construction began on the National Gallery building, and by 1838 it was open. Today, the art gallery has over 2,300 pieces of art from the 13th to the 19th century, including works by Van Gogh and Da Vinci. The best part is, it's free. Oh, the guy on the horse? That's King George IV. He was well known for his love of the arts. Next, I made my way down to the beautiful Westminster Abbey.
If you're in London for just a short period of time and you want to go inside the Abbey, you need to go online and buy your tickets in advance because you have to choose a specific time slot that you want to visit the Abbey, and they sell out quickly.
The historic Abbey dates back to the 900s when Benedictine monks built a small monastery here. Construction of the Abbey began in 1042, and this huge Romanesque-style church was completed by 1065. It only took 23 years to build this thing. King Edward the Confessor had the Abbey built, and it was consecrated just a few days before his death.
Now, Edward the Confessor was a pretty prolific builder. In fact, he built what's called the Palace of Westminster, which is now the Parliament building. And he also built Westminster Abbey as his church.
This is Elizabeth's Tower, better known as Big Ben. It's one of the most iconic landmarks in all of London. The tower is part of the Palace of Westminster, which was originally built, as I said earlier, by Edward the Confessor.
Now, you may not realize this, but it's not the tower that's called Big Ben. It's the bell inside the tower that has the name Big Ben.
The original bell cracked almost immediately, so they replaced it with the current bell weighing 13.5 tons.
Behind me is the British Parliament. This is where all the PMs and the Prime Minister meet and pass laws, kind of like our US Capitol. Big Ben is part of the Parliament complex.
Of course, the River Thames runs through the middle of London. Now, the Parliament building you see today replaced Edward the Confessor's Westminster Palace in 1834 after a fire destroyed the original building. London was originally called Londinium by the Romans when they founded the city in 43 AD along the River Thames. Now, the reason they founded it along the River Thames was because at that spot it was narrow enough to build a bridge across the river, and the river was deep enough to accommodate ships. So it was a win-win. Hey, you see that building with the white flag? That's MI5, or the Domestic Counterintelligence Agency. Well, are you ready for that special cameo appearance?
Now, while I am a bit frustrated that a lot of London is shut down because of the opening day of Parliament, I happened to stumble on a very kind police officer who said, look, if you go right over here and stand, you'll be able to get a film of the King and the Parliament in a parade. So, that's what I'm doing.
Now, I'm in my middle 60s, I'm an American, I have met politicians, I've met former presidents. But I've got to tell you, there was something exciting about getting to see a king. So the parade started with various dignitaries coming through, and there was just a general air of excitement. Everyone was really looking forward to this. There were a lot of British people lined up here, not just tourists. They wanted to be able to see their king, and they wanted to wave at him. Well, when the Royal Guard starts to appear, you know someone is getting near. In his golden carriage, King Charles III appeared. As King Charles's carriage passed, the Royal Guard began to play God Save the King. Now, you might recognize the song as America, My Country 'Tis of Thee. It has the exact same melody. Well, everyone was excited and people were waving. I even saw someone cry because they got to see their king. This is beautiful St. James Park, established in 1603. Originally, it was a marshland acquired by King Henry VIII for hunting. But today, it's one of London's most iconic royal parks, offering stunning landscapes, a lake, and wonderful views of Buckingham Palace. Buckingham Palace began as Buckingham House, built in 1703 for the Duke of Buckingham. But in 1761, King George III purchased it for Queen Charlotte, transforming it into a royal residence. It became the official monarch's palace under Queen Victoria in 1837. Over the centuries, it has been expanded and now serves as both a working royal headquarters and a symbol of the British monarchy. Unfortunately, due to the opening day of Parliament, the palace was closed to visitors. The Wellington Arch, located just outside Hyde Park, was built starting in 1826 as a grand entrance to Buckingham Palace and to commemorate Britain's victories in the Napoleonic Wars. Originally, the top of the arch featured a huge statue of Duke Wellington on a horse, but in 1882 the statue was replaced with the current bronze sculpture of the four-horse chariot. Inside, there are museums and a viewing deck at the top where you can get a great view of London. Get your tickets online.
I wasn't able to film everything I wanted to film in the 5 hours I was in London. But you know what? Getting the footage of King Charles, well, that kind of made it all worthwhile.
Before I left London, I had one more thing I just had to do.
Well, on my way back to get my stuff to go to the train to fly back to America, I stopped in this little pub called Buckingham Arms and having my first English beer. And I've got to say, it's really good.
Buckingham Arms has a long history dating back to the late 18th century. It was originally known as the Black Horse. This pub has been recognized for the quality of its beer, and it's a popular hangout for local members of Parliament. Okay, it was time to head back to the airport, but I had to stop by the UChat bubble tea first. Why? Well, when I travel, I use the Bounce app. They have locations in cities throughout the world where I can safely store my luggage while I'm shooting or sightseeing. Just download the Bounce app. Secure luggage storage at a great price. You can download the Bounce app at the link below in the video description. Okay, I was making my way back to the subway stop so I could head out to the airport, and I came across this really curious looking wall, and I wondered if it was some kind of prison in the middle of London. I later found out it was the wall around the grounds of Buckingham Palace. They're serious about you not getting in there. This is Mark with Any Way You Travel. I hope you enjoyed our 5-hour visit to London. Now, we didn't get to see all the major sights, but I had a fantastic time, and I know I will be coming back again. Hey, if you enjoyed the video, please hit the subscribe button, give it a thumbs up, and then smash the notification button so you never miss another journey. Again, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Take care.